tanah tu kalau dia berasid, apa jadi? Okay, what happened to the soil? What is actually the chemical process in the soil? Okay. Then we will learn that about dalam 8, 9, 10, minggu ke-8, 9, 10, 11, dalam 3-4 minggu. Then we will move to what we call as biotic components of the soils. Okay, pakai pasal microbe. Microbe ni dia related dengan nutrient. Okay, meaning that bila you letak baja, kalau tak ada microbe, dia tak boleh tukarkan. It cannot change the nutrients to the available forms that can be uptake by the plants. So basically you kena faham, okay, about the soil, about the soil. I mean, you faham dia punya sifat. Okay, the properties of the soil, why it is that color, this color, kenapa ada yang macam pasir, why there is a coarse type of soil, kita ada fine type of soil, kenapa halus-halus, so which one is good, which one can allow water, which one can allow oxygen. Okay, so daripada situ dia akan mempengaruhi, because physical, chemicals and biological properties of soils are interrelated. Okay, tapi ni introduction dululah, later you akan tengok dia berkait. So kenapa kalau tanah tu padat, tak ada oksigen, apa jadi kat nutrient dia? Microbe tak nak duduk dan nutrient pun tak ada. Okay, faham Okay, then we will move what we call as to biotic lah. Okay, so biotic ni termasuklah dengan microorganisms dan dia sentiasa related dengan nutrient. Sebab pokok, they have to have the microorganisms which will encourage ataupun promote their growth. Okay, dari segi nutrient, dari segi bahan-bahan organic compound dia that will help the plant to grow successfully. Okay, so semua, kalau kita tengok semua, bila kita tanam pokok, the most important medium is the soil. Okay, selain daripada the down part of the plant lah. Okay, tapi kalau dekat yang upper part, kita ada temperature, kita ada oxygen and carbon dioxide content. That is more on plant physio. Tapi most, you have to remember that majority of the plant sebenarnya bergantung kepada tanah. Dari segi struktur tanah, which is physical properties, nanti saya tunjuk you kenapa tanah ni kalau kasar, pokok kelapa je boleh hidup, betul tak? Okay, that you cannot plant contoh pokok sayur dekat kawasan pantai, kawasan berpasir. Why? Okay, so kita akan tahu sifat-sifat tanah ni, dan last kali end of the course, you can apply the concept ni nombor 3 ni, you can apply the concept of soil science in natural resource management system. Meaning that when you know the theory, soil science ni dia teori, you tahu teori physical, you tahu teori chemicals, and you tahu the teori biological, you tahu teori dia, kenapa, it is about why. Kenapa tanah tu merah? Why this type of soil is brown? Why this type of soils can grow plant? Kenapa this type of soil ada kasar, ada halus? Okay, why? Okay, then when you know when you have the answer of that why, then you boleh apply. Okay, so tanah jenis ni you tahu sebenarnya tak sesuai, tanah ni berasid, so what you have to do, that is about management. When you know about the theory, you boleh apply that in management, more to management practices lah. When we talk about soil, kita kena move toward sustainable management. Okay, kalau you tengok tanah-tanah dekat Malaysia ni banyak yang what we call as degraded soil. Okay, to cure ataupun untuk memperbaiki tanah yang dah degraded ni adalah lebih teruk daripada you maintain dia. Okay, so sebab tu kita go what we call as sustainable soil management, sustainable land management. Okay, meaning that you have to manage it properly so that our next generations, okay, akan dapat guna. Okay, so any question about the course content? Okay, so faham about. Okay, so kalau untuk soil kita ada yang paling penting ingat dalam kepala, you bahagikan daripada soil physical, soil chemicals and also soil biological. Okay. So kalau soil physical is about kejap banyak pula lah WhatsApp ni. Sekejap. Dia macam mengganggu saya. Macam mana nak stop ni? Okay, so when you talk about physical, basically saya nak you tahu dia about the structure of the soil. Okay, when you talk about structure of the soil, yang related structure ni besar, kecil, halus, kasar. So dia mempengaruhi the water content, the oxygen content ataupun air content. Okay, so the colour of the soil, that is physical. Okay, then we move about chemical. Chemicals mestilah pasal reaction. Okay, so pH. Kalau kita ingat pH, what is the pH? Meaning that we have a lot of hydrogen kan? H+. So what happened to the soils? Okay, so basic thing is pH. Ada H+, then we go to nutrient. Okay, so any chemical, then we go to organic matter. Okay, so kita akan belajar pasal liming. Okay, so kalau tanah tu berasid, kita letak kapur. Pernah dengar kan? Okay, kapur. Okay, so kapur dia berakali. So we will neutralize the soil. Okay, so lastly biological is about microbes and also related to nutrient. Okay, so but please remember all physicals, biologicals and chemicals are interrelated. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we will go to our lecture notes. Lecture notes saya dah upload dekat dalam iTaklim C. So you boleh access before saya usually insyaAllah saya akan upload a day before. So that you nak print ke, you boleh print. Cuma if I forget to upload the notes, okay, sometimes terlupa, Mas Rizal ke Iklimah boleh remind saya, okay?
Okay,
Lambat pula. Anissa dah masuk ke Lah, kenapa pula saya punya PowerPoint ni? Sekejap. Sekejap Sorry. Mana tak keluar? Sekejap Macam ada problem je ni. Sekejap saya tak boleh buka saya punya PowerPoint lah. Kenapa Ni tak boleh, ni saya view je. Saya kamera dulu. Sorry sekejap.
Tidak.
Power. Okay. So nampak tak slide saya?
Nampak.
Okay, so this is sama macam sem lepas juga. Kita akan ada quizzes. Okay, quizzes saya selalu buat towards the end of the semester sebelum final exam. Okay, so then we have assignments and presentations. Okay, field trip tak ada. Okay, so dia about 25%. Okay, lab report, okay, 15%. Okay, however, untuk lab report soil science this semester, saya akan divide you in 3 person per group. Boleh ya?
Okay.
Boleh? Okay.
Boleh.
So, no. Okay, so saya akan bagi my style is I will give freedom to you to choose your own group. Okay, so dia ada baik buruk dia lah. Okay, tapi saya rasa lebih nak bagi keselesaan pada you. However, jangan tinggalkan kawan-kawan yang you rasa dia tak boleh bantu ke atau dia kurang pandai ke. Saya tak nak macam tu You have to help each other. Okay, so saya bagi kebebasan untuk you pilih 3 orang per group untuk lab. Okay, so then we have midterm. Okay, then we have midterm macam biasalah 15%, then final exam 40%, total 100%. Okay, so we start with our first lecture. Soil is very, very important. Okay, not only for the agriculture industry, but also untuk semua benda. Because kalau kita tengok, kita pun sebahagian daripada kejadian manusia sendiri adalah daripada tanah. Dan kita juga akan kembali kepada tanah. So, paling penting, soil is the waste decomposer. Okay, semua you humban dekat dalam tanah tu kan. Okay, everything you throw inside the land. Okay, sampah yang bertimbun-timbun tu semua you pergi dump at one side. Okay, which is the tanah lah yang akan decomposekan tanah and microbes lah akan decomposekan the rubbish that you throw it away kan. Okay, so not only that, dia adalah source material for construction. Okay, source material for construction adalah sekejap sorry ada macam pasal kerja. Okay, source material for construction. Okay, contoh macam dekat kawasan kalau you tengok dekat tepi highway you ada quarry. Okay, quarry ni akan dia akan pecahkan batu-batuan tu, dia akan ambil batu which we call it as apa yang panggil tu, batu-batuan untuk buat rumah lah. Okay, then cement, semua tu daripada land lah, which is soil lah. Okay, so dia punya size je berbeza. Okay, then filter of water and waste. Okay, filter of water paling senang lah, saya nak bagi you one examples adalah, pernah tak tengok orang dulu-dulu ada air water filter yang dia pakai batu? Pernah tak anyone? Pernah kan? Dia ada batu paling atas dia kasar, lepas tu halus sikit, lepas tu halus lagi, lepas tu halus macam pasir tu. Macam pasir pantai kan? Okay, so actually soil ni nanti later saya akan explain balik sebab soil ni dia macam ada charge tau. Okay, saya pernah ajar kot CEC, what we call as CEC, dia ni able to absorb cation ataupun anion. Maksudnya soil tu boleh pegang bahan-bahan yang macam heavy metals ke, so that you tak consume lah air tu, and air boleh jadi jernih. Okay, then home to organism, yes. Okay, banyak sangat bacteria, microbes, cacing, microorganisms. Okay, anak-anak semua duduk kat dalam tanah. Semua rumah di dalam tanah. Tikus dalam tanah. Semualah dalam tanah kan. Okay, yang merangkak-rangkak dekat dalam atas lantai. Okay. So our part is kita punya spec adalah medium for plant growth. Okay, kita punya intention adalah sebab kita plant science kan, we want to know what types of soil is good for plant growth, what does the plant need, so what we should amend the soil. Kita nak betulkan tanah tu macam mana. Okay. Then it is also a producer of and absorber of gases. Okay. Producer and absorber of gases ni maksudnya dia boleh menyerap gas-gas tertentu. Okay, for example, carbon dioxide. Okay, as you know, carbon dioxide is one of a greenhouse gases yang panaskan muka bumi kita dan menipiskan lapisan ozon. Okay, so banyak aktiviti yang menghasilkan carbon dioxide, betul tak? Okay, and this soil, the good part of it is it can be what we call as a carbon sequester. Okay, dia akan tolong like tukarkan carbon ni dalam bentuk carbon dioxide ke dalam bentuk carbon, which is a stabilized form of carbon. So it is not released to the air lah. If it's released to the air, dia akan increasekan the temperature, akan nipiskan ozon semua kan. Okay. So it acts that way. Okay. Okay. Medium for crop production. Okay, maksudnya you tanam pokok atas tanah, but nowadays, okay, general practices, conventional practices kita akan tanam atas tanah. Okay, tapi kelapa sawit, ladang-ladang memang kita akan tanam atas tanah, but nowadays we have what we call as a soilless medium. Soilless culture. Okay, so kita what we call as kita macam rumah kat rumah orang, rumah yang duduk rumah bertingkat. Okay, so dia ada soilless. Dia tak pakai tanah pun. Dia just pakai air. Okay, so dia mimic soil tapi yang tu kat Singapore pun banyak buat. Kalau you tengok Singapore, dia dah jadi producer of salad, which they can plant crops indoor. Okay, that is new technology lah. Tapi kalau kita nak tanam kelapa sawit macam Malaysia, one of the most important commodity crop. Commodity ni adalah crop yang kita hasilkan untuk income kan. Okay, so kita ada getah, kita ada koko. Koko pun tak banyak lah kita. But our main commodity crop is oil palm. Okay, which we export and we depends on it. Okay. So it is a medium of crop production. Okay. So it is important for you to know your soil. Okay. When you know your soil, you create a healthy soil and you can produce a good productions. Okay. As you can see here, nampak tak? Okay, so these are some examples of mismanage the land. Okay, so kalau tengok kat Malaysia macam ni lah rupa dia sebenarnya. Tapi however, we are moving towards orang-orang macam you lah, insyaAllah, yang akan membantu kita untuk to properly manage our land. Okay, so semua kena ambil soil concentration lah nanti Okay, so ni lah kalau kita tak tahu about soil, kenapa kalau tanah tu dia biar macam the first picture ni, you nampak kan tanah dia warna orange ni, you biar what we call as a bare land. Dia macam kering kontang, macam bukan kering kontang, macam tak bertutup atas dia. So what happen? Erosion. So what will erosion affect? Banyak efek dia. Kita ada what we call as yang kita boleh nampak terus, and dia ada side effect yang kita tak boleh nampak. Okay, contohnya dia akan jatuh ke dalam sungai. Okay, kalau you tengok kan, dulu-dulu banjir tak ada banjir yang macam atas highway banjir. Boleh tak? Dekat Pahang. Siapa tahu pasal highway LPT banjir? You sekarang ni makin selalu banjir. This is the reality kalau you nampak dekat Pahang. What I can see as orang yang belajar tentang soil dan masih belajar tentang soil, tanah-tanah dia macam yang kat dekat gambar ni lah. Gambar yang first, gambar yang second. Kalau you nak masuk highway LPT tu, most of the kawasan kiri kanan you adalah oil palm plantation. Okay, dan what happen in kawasan dekat Bentong, dekat dekat Bentong, dekat Karak, anyone knows tak apa isu dia dekat situ? Kalau dekat Bentongan Karak, dia kawasan tanah tinggi kan. Okay, so dia macam gambar yang kat Cameron Highland ni lah. Tapi ni Cameron Highland lah. Tapi Bentong suhu dia macam quite rendah. So diorang ni suka untuk tanam-tanam pokok-pokok sayuran. Okay, so kat kawasan Bentong, okay, Bentong, Raup, semua tu kan tanam durian. Pun sama juga kawasan tu diterokai. Okay, so sama ada diterokai secara haram ataupun mismanage the land, it will result in semua tanah-tanah yang berada kat kawasan tinggi macam bukit-bukit ni, you nampak dia tanah ni, bila dia bare soil, bila dia terdedah macam tu, you tak ada rumput atas dia, bila hujan datang, hujan akan bring all the surface sediment, okay, dia ke kawasan yang latitude paling bawah sekali. Maksudnya into a low-lying area. Where is the low-lying area, Mas Rizal? The lowest lying area kat mana? Tak dengar lah tu Mas Rizal ni. Mas Rizal? Pas ni saya nak panggil lah seorang-seorang ni.
Sungai.
Mas
Sungai.
Rizal? Mas Rizal ke tu? Mas Rizal ke tu? Yang jawab tu. Bukan kan? Mana Mas Rizal?
Dengar tak kata?
Dengar. Betul lah. Dekat mana yang paling
Betul,
rendah
dengar.
sekali? Dia akan masuk kat mana?
Sungai.
Betul. Dia akan masuk
Salah.
dekat dalam sungai dan kawasan sungai akan jadi lebih cetek. Okay, so kalau kat situ you nampak lah banjir-banjir yang berlaku dekat LPT semua tu, especially dekat Lebuh Raya Pantai Timur. Okay, sepatutnya dulu tak banjir. Okay, tapi makin hari makin tahun lah, saban tahun macam makin terjadi perkara tu. Okay, banjir, hujan lama sikit air dah naik. That is because of the low lying area face what we call as sedimentation. Okay, pergerakan tanah daripada satu tempat yang terdedah macam tadi ke tempat yang lain, low lying areas. So dia dah mengganggu aliran air. Okay, so these are some the reason why you have to learn about soil. Okay, so as you can see here, nampak kalau kat gambar yang saya tunjuk, yang ni if I'm not mistaken in around 2016 atau 2017 yang gambar atas ni, yang highway dekat Karak area Genting Highlands tu runtuh. Okay, especially what kita panggil kawasan Highlands is a sensitive area. Okay, ni yang saya cakap kat bawah ni. Kalau you nampak ni, air dia keruh ni. Okay, so air keruh tu daripada mana tanah tu datang? Okay, must be from the highlands. Okay, so kalau you nampak bila hari kemarau pula, this is what happen. Air tu jadi macam beting pasir ni kan. Okay, maksudnya you boleh nampak air dekat kawasan sungai tu makin cetek. Ini dekat kawasan Temerloh ni pada musim kemarau. Okay, so sungai yang makin cetek menyebabkan banjir. Not only that, kalau you tahu, nanti saya akan ajar you from time to time, sebenarnya tanah ni the most productive layers is only a few cm from the soil. 20 cm saja. Macam satu jengkal je yang bakteria boleh hidup, mikrob boleh hidup. Because lagi turun ke bawah, lagi dia tak ada oksigen, lagi tanah tu mampat. So what happen is that bila you remove the topsoil, tanah you akan jadi infertile. Okay, you nak tanam balik semula kalau macam ni, pokok apa yang boleh hidup? Because you had removed the topsoil, the most productive ataupun fertile layers of soil. Okay, faham Tak apa, kalau you tak faham nanti from time to time kita akan pergi parts by parts. Okay, so this is what we call as mismanage the land lah. Okay, mismanage the land. Tapi kalau untuk in details lebih kepada management, kita ada kat dalam concentration, we call it as soil management. Okay, soil management saya dah tak ajar lah tentang apa itu CEC apa semua, tak. Kita terus macam how you want to manage highlands, what you have to do. Kita tak boleh pergi tanam pokok dekat kawasan terrace, kawasan tebing yang 80 degrees. 80 degrees biar betul. 40 degrees. Nanti you tak boleh tanam. You tak boleh tarah pokok dekat situ because it is under sensitive area dah. Okay, so dia akan menyebabkan erosion, akan menyebabkan tanah runtuh. Okay. Okay, so that is more on management. What you can do in terms of tanam pokok apa, macam mana nak reduce the impact of erosion. Okay, that is on soil management. Okay, so saya pernah tunjuk tak gambar ni?
Tak.
Ni ingat tak apa? Tahu tak ni kes apa?
Highland Tower.
Highland Tower.
Highland. Siapa yang duduk KL tahulah kan, pernah menggemparkan Malaysia masa dulu. Okay, so this is what we call as mismanage of the land. Okay, macam orang-orang kaya ni dia nak duduk tepi-tepi kawasan-kawasan tanah tinggi kan. Okay, so what happen is that, tak ada gambar dalam ni Okay, bila dia hanya belajar tentang surface of the soil without knowing the deeper part of the soil, bila kita belajar soil ni memanglah macam saya cakap, kalau untuk pokok first few cm, 20 cm tu penting lah topsoil tu. Tapi kalau you nak buat bangunan, you kena tengok dalam sampai berapa kaki. Sebab dalam tanah ada air, ada pergerakan air. Tanah yang macam as I said, makin ke dalam tanah tu dia makin mampat. Dan even dia adalah rock. Rock tu macam batuan lah dekat bawah. So what will happen is that bila sampai air turun, air hujan turun, kalau macam you nampak kat beting dekat pasir ni kan. Nampak tak cursor saya? Saya gerak. Nampak?
Nampak.
Okay. So bila air hujan turun kat sini, dia akan seep masuk ke dalam tanah kan, betul? So kalau dalam tanah tu ada satu batuan, okay, let's say dia structure dalam dia adalah batuan, air tu akan tersekat. Dia tersekat dekat situ dan dia akan turun macam air yang dilepaskan daripada empangan. Dia tahan, tapi sekali dia turun kan? Sebab bawah tu batu, dia tak boleh infiltrate dah the soil. Kan? So what happen is that air tu turun dengan laju dan dia tolak the structure. The structure mungkinlah tak kuat juga. Okay. Tapi what I want to say adalah dari scope tanah itself, you have to like know your soil. It's actually you have to know what types of that soil. Is it suitable for you untuk buat bangunan, untuk buat penanaman pun? Yes. You nak tanam apa? Kalau you went to kawasan yang you go to kawasan yang berpasir, macam tepi pantai, memang tak sesuai lah you nak tanam pokok sayur. Then you have to plant pokok kelapa for you to generate income. Meaning that you have to know your type of soil, what is suitable. Know your soil very well. Okay, but not macam saya cakap tadi, sebenarnya kalau you nak buka oil palm plantation, you akan panggil soil surveyor. Okay, you akan check tanah tu, what is the quality of the soil. Is it suitable untuk tanam oil palm? Because oil palm invest a lot of money. So, sebelum you tanam, you nak tahu dulu apa tanah you, apa yang nak buat dengan tanah you. Perlu ke you letak sistem peparitan, macam mana you nak control air. Sebab dalam, macam as I mentioned just now, dalam tanah kita ada air. Okay, so kita call it as a water table. Kalau water table ni tinggi, water table kita, air dalam tanah tu tinggi, dia akan reach kita punya akar pokok tu dan akar pokok akan terendam dalam air. So it's not suitable, especially kawasan peat soil, tanah organik, tanah tu warna hitam je. Hari tu kita pernah buat, bukan dengan you. Tanah tu warna hitam. Okay, so it's a peat soil. That type of soil dia ada banyak kandungan air. So usually it's not suitable for you to plant oil palm lah. Okay, so as you can see here, of course we want a healthy types of soil. A healthy types of soil sepatutnya ada cacing, ada anak-anai, ada you nampak putih-putih, which we call it as macam fungus. Okay, so these organisms, this types of soil, dia macam reflect that types of soil has food. That types of soil has nutrient in comparison to the this type of soil yang bawah. Okay, so kalau you nampak akar rambut, akar yang banyak, itu menandakan that types of soil allow the roots to penetrate within the compartment of the soil. Dia bagi. Okay, kalau you nampak gambar sebelah kanan ni, gambar pokok dalam tanah ni, akar dia ni tak boleh nak penetrate sebab tanah tu compact. That's why I say you have to know your soil until the deeper part of the soil. Sebab nanti saya tunjuk macam mana kita nak tahu kawasan yang dalam tanah tu kan. Okay, so gambar yang sebelah kiri pokok dengan akar ni, this is good. Because this type of soil are porous. Tapi poros sangat pun tak bagus. Sebab contoh macam pasir, walaupun poros tapi dia lack of nutrient. Pokok tertentu je boleh hidup. So how you want to know your soil? Okay, itu yang kita akan belajar kat dalam soil science. Okay. Any question? So kalau you nampak cacing kat dalam tanah you, janganlah tu. That reflect a good types of soil. Okay, ada anak-anak, ada semut. Sebab cacing anak-anak ini dia buat laluan. Dia buat laluan channels in the soil so that the roots dia macam menggemburkan tanah. Not only that, diorang ni pun keluarkan apa panggil najis. Okay, so najis adalah najis organik so that it can helps to improve the fertility ataupun amend the soil. Okay, so ni adalah contoh-contoh yang tanah tak bagus. You nampak tak ada pokok pun tumbuh atas dia sebab tanah dia compact. Okay, ataupun kalau air bertakung ni maksudnya air tu tak boleh nak masuk ke dalam. A good type of soil is soil yang allow water to penetrate within it. Okay, dia takkan apa what we call as dia takkan bertakung lah air tu. So kalau air bertakung macam ni, it shows is that the soil, the land has some problems. Okay, when you plant crops in this type of soil, gambar yang atas ni, when there is water stagnant water, you have to do what we call as drainage so that the water, okay, there is a lot of consequence which is negative effects lah kalau when ada stagnant water, especially the oxygen cannot penetrate the soil while the soil needs the oxygen. Who needs oxygen inside the soil? Siapa nak jawab? Sharifah ada kat sini. Sharifah Abarina Sharifah Abarina. Okay. Yes. Okay. So that organisms kita perlukan dia kat dalam soil kan. Kalau air yang bertakung macam tu, how can you imagine cacing tu nak bernafas? Okay, ataupun macam saya because microbes is very important. Kita panggil aerobic microbes, kita ada anaerobic. Aerobic microbes is important. Anaerobic ni yang buat fermentation semua tak bagus, anaerobic. Okay, so we need an aerobic microbes. Aerobic microbes maksudnya microbes yang guna oksigen. So microbes yang guna oksigen ni dia need the oxygen lah. When your soil is submerged with water like this, so there is no oxygen. Okay, so how many percentage of air and oxygen? Dah pernah belajar kan? Okay, so soil as medium for plant growth. Plant growth depends on 6 factors, namely light, of course, mechanical support, nutrient supply, water supply, oxygen supply, heat. So as you can see here, okay, the most important mechanical support is from the soil. Soil yang akan hold the plant. Okay, nutrient supply, majority of the crops need nutrients which is absorbed by the root. Okay, so the nutrients management should be start from the soil. Okay, so water supply also tak ada pula pokok yang absorb the water from the air kan. So most of the crops absorb water from the roots. Okay, so of course from the soil. Okay, then we have oxygen supply also. Roots also needs oxygen. They do respirations, not only the upper parts of the plant, but also the lower part, which is the roots. Okay, heat is also from both, which is the roots, and also from the upper part, which is the environment lah. Okay. So the functions of soils, it have various components such as organic matter, mineral matter, air and water perform different functions for the soil. Okay, because all these are needed. Okay, and all these are in the soils. Okay, so soil actually extends the mechanical support for growing plants. Okay, so it makes the plant able to stand erect. Okay, because the whole can the soil can hold the roots. Okay, the roots. Okay. Okay, so this is what happened when you plant crops without knowing your type of soil. Okay, kenapa pokok tu bengkok? Anyone can answer me? Can anyone answer me? Siapa Sekejap. Wan Nur Nasrin. Kenapa pokok tu? Why the plant why the oil palm dia bend? Siapa ni? Siapa saya panggil tadi? Wan Nur Nasrin.
Saya doktor.
Why?
Sebab
Kenapa?
because of the
Pernah nampak tak pokok yang
Pernah.
meleding-leding macam ni? Kenapa?
sebab tanah dia tak sesuai dengan pokok tu.
Ya, okey. Apa yang tak sesuai tu? Betul lah tak sesuai. Kalau sesuai dia mesti tegak je kan? Why? Lepas ni kena guna term-term lah. Tapi tak apa sebab tak belajar lagi. Okay, that is because of the structure of the soil. Okay, so the structure of the soil dia macam kalau kat peatland, kawasan peatland ni macam saya cakap dia tanah organik. Tanah organik ni warna hitam. It is in black colour. It is very porous. Okay, banyak kawasan especially in area of Sabak Bernam. Siapa orang Sabak Bernam? Anyone from Sabak Bernam, Kuala Selangor, Skincan? Anyone? Banyak Johor kan? Johor pun we have a lot of peatland. Anyone from Johor area Nenas tu apa Anyone? Tak ada. Okay, tanah dia macam kapas tau. Kalau you pegang, it's not actually macam soil. It's not actually like soil. It's actually like a decomposed material of roots ataupun leaf macam tu. Bila you pegang dia macam kapas. Faham tak pit soil? Kejap saya nak googlekan untuk you. Dia macam serbuk kayu tau This is pit soil. Nampak tak gambar?
Nampak.
So if you see pit soil, dia macam campuran a mixture of organic materials, but it's actually a type of soil because it undergoes the same process of weathering process. So dia yang ni lapisan hitam ni, this is pit soil. It usually absorb, dia loose, the structure is very very loose. Okay, so dia macam kapas sebab tu dia tak boleh hold the plant properly lah. So dia goyang kan, dia macam goyang sebab tu dia boleh mengeleding macam tu, dia sengit. Okay, dia bend. Okay, so but this type of soil, sebab because we have a lot of peatland in Malaysia, and we still as I mentioned before, oil palm is one of our main industry. So nak tak nak we are able to plant oil palm in peat area, but with a good and proper management. Okay, banyaklah nanti saya ceritalah later what is the management, but this is why you have to know your soil. Okay, so not only that, soil acts as a reservoir of water and air. So the plant absorb water through their roots from this reservoir, and the roots breathe in oxygen from the air stored in the soil mass. And also the soil can store the sun heat and supply it to the growing plants, okay, because the plants also need heat, okay, for it be able to achieve a maximum. Sebab kalau enzyme reaction, metabolic reaction, dia punya temperature itself kan, okay. So sama macam kat luar negara, kalau musim sejuk they cannot plant certain type of crop, most type of crop lah they cannot plant because the temperature, okay, is not suitable. Okay, so soil also act as a storehouse of plant nutrients. As I mentioned before, the most of the crops ambil nutrient from the soil. Okay, so this is just a brief introduction dulu. Okay, so soil contains a large number of compounds, both organic and inorganic. Okay, so organic ni macam tai lembu, okay, from the decayed leaf, okay, decayed tai lembu bahasa Inggeris apa decayed cow manure, okay. So that is organic things, okay. Then soil also contains a large number of inorganic. Usually inorganic is something that you put that is from chemical fertilizer, okay. Chemical fertilizer lah kalau inorganic, okay. So baru masuk objektif. Okay, so the objective of our course is to learn about what is soil color, what is soil texture. Get used to this term, soil color. You have why the color is that in that color. Why? Soil texture. Okay, so soil texture is kasar, like sandy soil. You have clay type of soil, which is a very fine type of soil. Okay, so which one is good? Which one is suitable for you to plant oil palm? Okay, so that is the question. Okay, then you have soil structure. So soil structure is always related to water and air. Okay, so later kita akan pergi soil structure punya topik. Soil pH, okay, so get used to this term. Memang ada kat dalam kepala you, color, texture, structure, pH, CEC, microorganisms, nutrient ni that terus you boleh tahu NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and each of the behavior of each nutrient you kena tahu. For example, nitrogen, why it is important, what is the problem with nitrogen, what does nitrogen need, okay, how the plant take up the nitrogen from the soil. That is the question that you have to you can answer later at the end of the topic. Okay. Okay, so actually soil color tells a story. Okay, so a well-drained type of soils usually in orange color, macam saya pernah ajar kan waktu principal plant science. Do you remember why it's in orange color? Anyone can answer me? Why it is?
Iron.
Yes, correct. Tapi bukan. Iron tu betul because it contains iron. Okay, but why? Iron dia boleh jadi dua color. Besi dia boleh jadi besi yang normal besi is silver color, kan? Rusted one is in orange color kan? But we are talking about a rusted one. Nah sekarang sebab dia in orange, betul tak? Why it's in orange color? Because it is oxidized. Betul tak? Kalau besi you tinggalkan dia kena berpanas, berhujan, dia tukar warna apa? Orange kan? Okay, the same thing goes to the soil. Okay, so from there, macam saya cakap tadi, you nak tahu tanah you gali tanah you kat dalam. When you dig your soil deeper, you will know. Okay, not only the color tak evenly distributed orange all the way downwards. Sometimes macam the right picture. You can see at the upper layers, it is in black color. However, as it move towards the lower part, dia punya warna changing. So it tells a story. Atas ada organic matter banyak, and as it move, organic matter of course dia accumulates dekat surface je. Then what happens? How about the water percolation? Okay, so from here you can see the water percolation is quite good. As it move downwards, dia tak bertakung air dia because the colour is appear orange. So kalau appear orange kat bawah, dia tak adalah air bertakung. Maksudnya dia oxidize, meaning that there is still oxygen up to here. Okay, cuma kat sini dia cakap it's poorly drained because of the maybe because of the structure, because of the texture also. But as I mentioned before, if usually this type of soil is a peat soil. Kalau peat soil macam kapas tadi, it absorb a lot of water ke atas. But as it move towards downward part, sebab dia dah absorb ke atas, the water downwards berkurang So we have a lot of range of colour. Okay, so yang ni kalau you tengok yang ni macam quite a sandy soil. Okay, so why at the upper parts it's black or grey, dark grey, then as you move towards downwards dia putih, slightly putih. Okay, so each of the layer tells a story. Okay, so that's why when you want to open, for example, a plantation, you have to dig your soil and know your soil at least 100 cm. 100 cm 100 cm is 1 meter. Okay. So gondang ni peat soil. You nampak dia macam there's a lot of organic matters. Okay, it is developed from the decayed process of organic matter lah. Okay, then you nampak structure dia, nampak if you can see here that the structure ada yang smooth, ada yang this one is like smooth, so you can see that most likely it's clay, a very fine clay. Okay, so yang ni nampak ada structure kasar-kasar ni, so dia macam ada batuan, macam ada slightly sandy. Okay, so dulu kalau if you are in UIA, I will bring you to Cerating. Okay, so in Cerating we will do soil profile. Kita akan gali tanah and we will see the layer. How is the layer? The color, the structure is different. Okay, so macam ni lah. As you can see, parit botak dekat mana? Parit botak Johor kan? Yeah, Johor kita banyak peat soil. Yes, you can see the colour upper parts is black colour, which we can expect it to have a high contents of organic matter. Okay, tapi tiba-tiba putih. Okay, so kenapa dia jadi putih? Kenapa kat sini tak ada putih? So that is what we call as the physical properties of the soil. From the colour itself, you can predict the water content, you can predict what is happening in that types of soil. So physical properties are very important. From the first impression, you dah boleh, okay, this type of soil you boleh tanam ni. Okay, oh dekat bawah ni ada clay. So what should we do? We should do drainage. Kita kena buat sistem peparitan. Okay, drainage system, so that it can allows the water to not to be stagnant inside the deeper part of the soil. Okay, contoh. Okay, that is examples lah. Okay, so still on term, I want you to get used to the term. Okay, kita ada soil fertility, about the soil nutrient. Okay, soil chemistry, about the chemical constituent. Okay, chemical properties. We have nitrogen, pH, liming, all those things. Okay, then we have soil physical properties. Okay, macam when we talk about soil physicals, it's about the structure, the texture, the water, the air. Okay, then we have soil microbiology dealing with microorganisms. Okay, soil mineralogy, dealing with minerals. Minerals ni macam gibitsite, bauxite, apa-apa lagi, ada banyak lagi. Then so for morphology, okay, morphology is the something that you can see and you can describe from what you can see. Soil pedology, okay, you are dealing with the soil formations, the origins of the soil, survey, classification. Kalau kat Malaysia ni, kita dah buat what we call as Malaysian soil survey. Each and every parts of the Malaysian soil, especially involve the plantations and agriculture area, kita memang buat survey. You boleh pergi, you can ask to the agriculture department's office and you can ask, can I have the map of this area because I want to know what types of plants are suitable to be planted in this area. For example, dekat Sekinchan, you nampak most of the area they focus on paddy. Okay, Sekinchan, Kuala Selangor, kita ada padi. Okay, soil conservations. Okay, not only that, kita ada lastly is the soil conservation. When you know about all these things, how to conserve, how to manage and make sure it's a properly managed land lah. Okay, then soil taxonomy pun ada. Bila you buat master ataupun bila you nak jump into soil area, kita akan pecahkan form. Macam saya is more on soil geochemistry. I study more about nutrients and its distribution. Okay, so kat sini tinggi, kat sini rendah. But nowadays I focus more on environmental pollution dekat dalam soil. Okay, so you have, kita pecahkan dia, kita ada soil taxonomist. Okay, so soil taxonomist ni they only learn about the taxonomy of the soil. Macam pokok, you have this order, the apa yang saya tak sure untuk pokok. Apa lagi, order, family semua ada kan untuk pokok kan, sampai species. Okay, same as soil. We have only 12 order for soil. Okay, so we have oxysols, we have antisols. Okay, so ni 12. But however, this is only the introduction of it. I will explain in details when we go by topics. Okay, so from the order also it reflects the color. Okay, contoh macam I cakap, oh oxysols, saya dah tahu dah, it's in orange color. Oh antisols, it is slightly orange. Okay, then we talk about histosol, oh I know it's black color. Okay, so that is the soil order which you have to hafal. Okay. Okay, then we have soil morphology. This is soil morphology. Tadi saya dah sebut kan, it's a physical appearance of the soil, soil keratan soil tu. Okay, so you can see the morphology of the soil macam it's in the picture. Okay, the different colours it describes. It can describe. You tak payah nak analyse dia pun, then you can describe what is in the soil. Okay. So as you, kalau you tengok sini, it's very interesting tau. Kalau you dah tahu, okay kat sini slightly chocolate, as it go deeper dia terang. Lepas tu sampai satu layer, kenapa tiba-tiba macam like orange colour dekat sini? Okay, so each layer tells a story. Sebab tu you kena gali sampai bawah, then you will understand. Oh, tanah ni sampai sini air dia. Contohnya air, kalau kat kawasan Malaysia ni, air ni akan naik, what we call as water table. So bawah ni akan, kalau hari hujan, water table dia tinggi. Okay, so air tu cecah sampai mana. Okay, so that is important lah for you to ensure that your punya roots is not submerged in the water. So selalunya kalau root yang tenggelam dalam air, sebab tu banjir akan merosakkan tanaman. Because akar pokok dia tak tahan sangat dengan air yang terendam lama, because dia pun nak, the roots do respirations also. So if it's submerged by the flood, it will cause the roots to be rotten lah. Okay, so yang ni dah belajar. Okay, so in soils, please make sure that if you want to plant crops, the ideal compositions of soils is 45% of minerals, which is the soil particles lah. Okay, then you have to have 50% of pores. 50% of pores ni pula pore, P-O-R-E-S. 25% should be contained with oxygen, air lah. 25% with water. Apa yang jadi kalau hari flood? What happen when there is flooding? Aniso, what happened to the pores?
They go with the rain.
Pardon?
Actually, they get destroyed because there's a lot of water that comes to them.
Yes. So what is the compositions of the water? If you can see here, if it's an ideal condition, the air is 25%, the water is 25%. So when there is flooding, meaning that how many percent of the pores is filled with water?
Like, it's gonna be 0 maybe?
No. Anyone can answer me? Berapa persen kawasan pore tu dipenuhi air? Tak apa ni. Let me have
More than 25.
more than 25? No. If it's submerged terus, submerged with water. Farisha,
50.
very good. So 50 sebab okay, so because in normal condition, okay, sekejap in normal condition you will have 25. But if it's full with water, mineral particles you cannot change. The soil is there. So 50% of the soil is filled with water. Itu when it's submerged. Kalau musim kemarau pula, meaning that there is no water in the soil, you cannot extract the water. So there is 0% of water and air will be 50%. However, as I mentioned before, this is the ideal. You have to have water, moisture. Water, not only water lah, it's more to moisture. The soil should be moist. Okay, 25%, and air should be 25%, while the rest is 5% organic matter. Okay, because organic matter is very, very important so that it will attract the microbes, the microorganisms. Okay, microbes duduk baru ada makanan, ada organic. Organic matter is food for the microorganisms. When there is organic matter, meaning microbes can come and eat. While microbes also helps in the plant growth. Without microbes, plant cannot grow well. Okay, that's why macam Dr. Hairul is more on research which used microbes to help the growth promotions of the crops. Okay, kita introduce microbe to the soil, to the plant, so that it helps the plant to grow bigger, healthier, something like that. Okay, can we take 5?
Boleh. Yes.
Take 5 So
Yes.
balik pukul 11 suku. Okay, thank you.